Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Motormaster TV1, your ultimate garage of legendary machines, engineering brilliance, and pure automotive soul. Today, we're diving into one of the most iconic supercars of the 1990s, a machine that marked Bugatti's rebirth and pushed the envelope of what was possible in the pre-digital age. Yes, we're talking about the Bugatti EB110, a car with a name that honored the 110th birthday of company founder Ettore Bugatti, and one that combined Italian flair, French heritage, and raw technological excellence into one unforgettable shape. This isn't just a review, it's a tribute to a misunderstood masterpiece that still turns heads and ignites hearts 3 decades later. Let's start with the exterior of the Bugatti EB110, a shape that challenged convention in an era of wedges and wide fenders. Designed by Marcello Gandini and the man behind the Lamborghini Mira and Countach, the EB110 originally carried Gandini's signature angular lines, but was later refined into the sleeker production form we know today. With its sharp nose, signature scissor doors, low-slung profile, and massive side intakes, the EB110 looked like a spaceship from the future, even by today's standards. Its proportions were purposeful, every curve crafted for airflow and cooling, especially the iconic rear grille and active rear wing that deployed at high speeds. The car's carbon fiber monocoque chassis and aluminum body panels were radical at the time, giving it a distinct aesthetic edge. Finished in classic colors like silver, blue, or yellow, the EB110 had the presence of a rare beast, wide, menacing, and unforgettable. Moving to the interior, the EB110 was a different kind of supercar, blending performance focus with surprising comfort. You don't step into the EB110, you descend into it, sliding into an elegant, low-slung cockpit trimmed in the finest Italian leather. The cabin is a mix of analog dials, hand-stitched details, and purposeful simplicity. The dashboard sweeps across the driver like a jet cockpit, with a cluster of gauges angled toward the pilot. You've got a gated 6-speed shifter sitting in the center, reminding you this is an era when man and machine had no filters between them. The steering wheel is small, leather-wrapped, and direct. There's no touchscreen, no infotainment system, just you, the engine, and the road ahead. Even the air conditioning vents and switches are carved with precision, showcasing the craftsmanship that Bugatti insisted on. And despite its race-bred credentials, there's comfort, ample legroom, plush seats, and even a luggage compartment behind the cabin. For a 1991 supercar, that was almost unheard of. Under the hood, or rather, right behind the driver's head, sits the heart of the EB110. And this is where things get wild. Powering this legend is a 3.5-liter quad-turbocharged V12 engine, 4 turbos, producing up to 553 horsepower in the standard GT model and a staggering 603 horsepower in the more focused EB110 Supersport. That power is sent through a 6-speed manual gearbox to all 4 wheels, making the EB110 one of the first production cars to combine turbocharging with all-wheel drive in a mid-engine layout. Performance numbers: a 0-60 time of around 3.2 seconds for the Supersport, with the top speed exceeding 217 miles per hour, making it the fastest production car in the world at the time. The engine itself is a work of art, 60 valves, titanium components, and a soundtrack that roars with mechanical symphony. Driving the EB110 is an event. There's turbo lag, then a sudden and violent surge of power that hurls you forward with no electronic aids to catch your mistakes. It's raw, thrilling, and demanding, a proper analog supercar experience that rewards skill and punishes arrogance. When it comes to safety, the EB110 didn't have the alphabet soup of electronic assists we see today, but it was ahead of its time in structure and handling. The carbon fiber monocoque chassis was incredibly rigid, providing a strong foundation for crash protection and stability. The all-wheel drive system gave it immense traction even in less than ideal conditions, and 4 massive ventilated disc brakes ensured that this missile could scrub off speed as quickly as it gained it. ABS was available, but traction control was left out intentionally, giving the driver full control and full responsibility. While it doesn't match modern standards for airbags or electronic nannies, The EB110's commitment to mechanical safety and chassis excellence made it one of the most confidence-inspiring supercars of its era. It was a machine built for drivers who understood risk and respected it. Now, what makes the Bugatti EB110 truly special? Its unique selling points is how far ahead of its time it was. This wasn't just a fast car, it was the first supercar to combine a quad-turbocharged V12, all-wheel drive, a carbon fiber chassis, and active aerodynamics all wrapped in Italian design and French heritage. It did all this in the early '90s, before the McLaren F1 and well before the Pagani Zonda or Koenigsegg entered the scene. It represented a daring rebirth of a brand that had been dormant for decades, led by an ambitious Italian entrepreneur, Romano Artioli. The EB110 was engineered in Modena, Italy, but built under the Bugatti badge in Campogliano, in a factory that was itself a marvel of design and automation. The attention to detail, the purity of its mechanical setup, and the limited production numbers, only 139 units, make it one of the rarest and most visionary cars ever produced. It's not just a supercar, it's a legend born of ambition, engineering genius, and artful rebellion against the norms of its time. Back in the day, the Bugatti EB110 came with a price tag of around $350,000 to $450,000, depending on the variant. That was an astronomical figure for the early 1990s, putting it well above a Ferrari F40 or Lamborghini Diablo. But today, the value of the EB110 has skyrocketed due to its rarity, legacy, and sheer engineering brilliance. At auctions, clean examples of the EB110 GT fetch $2.5 million or more, while the ultra-rare Supersport versions have crossed the $3 million mark. It's not just an investment, it's a piece of automotive history that will only continue to appreciate in value, both financially and emotionally, as time goes on. So what's the final verdict? The Bugatti EB110 is a car that defies categorization. It's not just a supercar, it's a visionary masterpiece that came before its time and never truly got the recognition it deserved in its day. It paved the way for Bugatti's modern hypercars like the Veyron and Chiron, but it did so without relying on computer aids or massive budgets. It was handcrafted brilliance with one goal: to be the best in the world. From its mind-blowing performance to its elegant interior and jaw-dropping design, the EB110 remains a timeless icon. Driving it today is a reminder of what supercars used to be: raw, emotional, and pure. It's not for the faint of heart, and it demands respect. But for those lucky enough to own one or even see one up close, the EB110 is a reminder that sometimes, chasing perfection, even if it leads to bankruptcy, leaves behind a legacy no one can ever forget. And that wraps up our deep dive review of the Bugatti EB110. If you enjoyed this journey into one of the most iconic cars ever built, don't forget to like this video, drop your thoughts or questions in the comments, and subscribe to Motormaster TV1 for more epic reviews and historical deep dives into the most thrilling machines ever made. Until next time, ride fast, drive hard, and stay passionate, because legends like these are what fuel our souls. See you on the next one.